बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय। बोले श्री आदिशक्ति नौ देवी माता की जय। सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। श्री स्वाहा माता की जय. Devotees, once again, let me say welcome to each and every one of you for finding the time to join with us this evening, and who will join us as we continue with our evening's devotion to this, which is the second night of our Devi Havan during this most auspicious prayer of the Navratri. These 9 nights, as we say, that we specifically worshipped the Divine Mother. And also blessings to those devotees who are also performing Havan together with us. We have a few devotees, as a matter of fact, a few of them that messaged me and said that they are performing Havan together with us, which is very, very beautiful. But blessings to all of you, those who are joining in physically to perform your Havan, Upansu, those who are performing Mansik, listening to the mantras, Vachik, recitation of mantras, etc. All in all, blessings to each and every one of you. And this evening, as we mentioned, this was most auspicious period, known as the Navratri, the 9 nights, as we say, that is dedicated to the worship of the Divine Mother. The first 3 nights that we perform devotion is dedicated to Durga Mata. The second 3 nights we dedicate to Lakshmi Ma. And the final 3 nights we dedicate to Saraswati Ma. Now, before we go into our actual puja, our Panchupakaj puja, simple puja, and then our Havan, it's important for us to understand why we perform these actions. So what is indicated is that the Devi, Divine Mother, she represents 3 qualities that should be uncovered within each and every one of us. Now we keep saying that the mysteries of the world could be unraveled in 3 ways. We have what we refer to as the experimental outlook. We have what we refer to as the cosmological outlook. And we have that which is referred to as the metaphysical outlook. Now, these 3 outlooks are very important, for they all serve a purpose. Now, the experimental outlook, which is the stories that we have. So we go to the scripture and we read about Raktabij and read about, so many of the others, Durgam, so many different Chandamund. And then not only that, we hear of the different forms of Devi, Patamam Shela Puticha, Dvityam Brahmacharini, Trityam Chandraganteti, Kushmandeti Chaturtakam, Panchamam Skandamateti, Shashtam Katyayaniti Cha, Saptamam Kalaratriti, Mahagaurit Yashtamam. These 9 forms of the Devi. And we listen to beautiful kathas about these Devis, their manifestation, what they did, what sort of Bardhan, all that is good. That is good. That is from the scriptural point of view. Then hidden in all of those, itihas, as we say, there is what they refer to as the cosmological outlook, the permanent laws that govern Nitya. And then we have the final aspect, which is referred to as the metaphysical, where all these forms, what they represents, what it is within each and every one of us, what it represents within all of us. And this is where we need to go. That, anyone can read this story, and as we keep saying, you hear 10 different stories, you hear 10 different versions. Everybody have their own little version of the same exact story. So that alone will tell you there are little differences there. But what is important and what doesn't change is how it is applicable to us. And all our sadhanas that we perform, be it Durga, Navami, Navratri period, be it Shivratri, be it Janamashtami, be it whatever the case may be, whichever form of sacrifices we make, what it means to us is what is important. For we keep saying that all these sadhanas that we perform helps an individual to help to elevate himself from lower tendencies. And this is where we keep quoting from Bhagavad Gita. Man elevates himself by himself, man degrades himself by himself. And the actions that we perform is to help us elevate ourselves in the path of our life, in the path of spirituality, to purify ourselves, to rid ourselves of all lower tendencies. And this is what Durga Ma represents. So what we look at this evening, before we begin, so you'll have an idea. I wanted to mention this last night, but I couldn't find my book. So I dig it up, and I found the book today. So this is what is indicated, the worship of Durga. The first 3 days is dedicated to Durga Mata. And what it does, it is for the eradication of all vices. The eradication of all vices. That as we begin to prepare ourselves, to worship the Divine Mother, we need to prepare ourselves by firstly purifying ourselves from all negativities. So the worship of Durga helps us to purify ourselves by the eradication of all vices. And Durga represents Ichha Shakti. There are three main powers: Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Gyan Shakti. Or Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Gyan Shakti. And the Devi represents, Durga Ma represents Ichha Shakti. And what it says here, this process of sadhana implies resolute will, right? Ichha, resolute will, determined effort and struggle. In other words, strength, infinite Shakti is the prime necessity in a path of devotion. It is the Divine Mother, the Supreme Shakti of Brahm, that has to operate through the aspirant. So, we are like aspirants, spiritual aspirants, as we say. And the Divine Mother Shakti have to operate through us. So on the first 3 days, the mother is adorned as that power, that force of Durga. Durga represents she who is inaccessible. So what we do, we pray to that Durga Mother, the force, that Durga Ma, to destroy all our impurities, all our mals, as we say, all our vices, all our defects. So we are all full of impurities, we are full of vices, we are full of defects. So what we do on the first 3 days, we pray to that Divine Mother to destroy all our impurities, our vices, our defects. And what is mentioned here, she is that one that annihilates the baser animalistic qualities within us, within the sadhak, the lower asuric qualities that exist within each and every one of us. And we keep saying that this is what Durga represents. The tiger represents the lower self, Durga Ma represents the higher self. And we notice Durga Ma, what she does, she rides the tiger. The tiger takes her wherever she wants to go. So the tiger is not destroyed, the tiger is harnessed. So what we say here, within the first 3 days, when you offer prayer to Durga Ma, right, she purifies us, destroys within us all impurities, all vices, all defects, and she fights to annihilate all the baser animalistic qualities that exist within us, the lower asuric qualities. And we know when we spoke of asuric qualities for our Ganesh Jayanti period, we spoke of Kama Asur, Lobha Asur, Matsara Asur, Mamata Asur, all these lower tendencies that binds us in this world, that destroys us. Where Gajanan Swami subdued these forms. So you same exact thing here. The Divine Mother subdues these lower basic, asuric qualities within all of us. Also it is said that she is that power that protects the sadhana, protects the sadhana of the sadhak from many, many dangers that exist, many, many pitfalls. And in devotion, there are many, many pitfalls, as we say. Many distractions. So what the Divine Mother does, for these 3 days when you worship the Divine Mother, she protects the sadhana of the sadhak. And the first 3 days in marking the first stage of destruction of mal, of all impurities. And not only that too, a determined effort and struggle of the sadhak is to root out all the vasanas, all the subtle desires that exist within our minds. These vasanas, these subtle desires that exist within us, there are many. And each time one crop up its head, what happens? Another one comes. So what we do, when we worship the Divine Mother within the first 3 days, what she does, she destroys all the impurities from the mind, and that struggle that exists with us, it is rooted out by that Divine Mother. And our mind becomes calm, and to go to the other state. The other 3 days, which we'll deal with afterwards. But what it says here, that the first 3 days of the worship during this Navratri prayer is for the worship to Durga Ma, that destructive aspect of the mother. And when you say destructive aspect, it's not like the mother going to destroy you. But what she does, she destroys the impurities. She destroys all the distractions. So that is why for the first 3 days, we worship Durga Ma to purify ourselves. Then we move on to the next 3 days, which is Lakshmi Ma, and we deal with that. And then the next 3 days, which is Saraswati Ma. So like a spiritual evolution from one point to the next. You start at a base, lower, state, a base low state, and we elevate ourselves over the 9-day period. So as much as we listen to the story, all it is good. But the sadhana is what is important. This is why we choose through Havan. We perform Havan. By performance of Havan, offering of mantras, etc., doing jap, reading of stotra, this helps to purify ourselves. Remove all the negativities, remove all the vasanas as such from our mind, to stabilize our mind in order for us to proceed forward in life. So this is what is important. So this is what we are about. As mentioned, this is what I wanted to mention this evening, that as we begin, yesterday, today, tomorrow, Durga Ma, we try to purify ourselves and we move on to the other three. Lakshmi, then other three, Saraswati. So this is what we are about. So remember, we are on our own journey. As we keep saying, no man can, help another on their journey or take them on their journey. I am on my own journey, you are on your own journey. We are mere facilitators for each other. We help each other as we go through the corridors of life. But you can't do nothing for me, no, I can't do anything for you. This is why the statement says we have to make our own effort. Everybody have to make their own effort. So together, congregationally, we all get together, those performing Havan, those who are looking on. But the point about it is that we worship together. And by this worshiping together, we create a positive vibration where all of us benefit from the blessings of that Divine Mother. So we are about to begin. So what I'll ask those of you who are performing your Havan physically, you can light your Agni Kund at this point in time. And those who are not performing Havan with us, well then, you just concentrate. Okay, after you've lit your Agni Kund, you take flowers in your hand and concentrate on Ganesh Baba, Bhagwan Shankar, Devi Mata, Satyanarayana Swami, Suryanarayana Swami, as you perform opening mantras. So concentrate in your mind. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Om Gananang Tva Ganapati Gwang Havamahe Priyanang Tva Priyapati Gwang Havamahe Nidhinang Tva Nidhipati Gwang Havamahe Vaso Mama Aham Ajani Gharvadam Atoma Jasini Gharvadam Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sarike Sharini Trambike Gauri Narayani Namostate Om Trambakam Yajamahe Suganhim Pushti Varadaram Urvarukam Ivabandanan Mrityurumukshi Amamritar Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Sri Surush Devaya Namaha. Om Angang Jwalit Mukhe Arur Mata Varun Pita Shandil Gotra Pavakanam Brahmagni Devaya Namaha. Om Agacha Deva Devisha Tejurasi Jagarpati Kriyamanang Maya Pujang Grihan Surasatama Sri Durga Mata Sri Agni Devata Avahayami Sthapayami Pujayami. Om Sri Achakino Deviyai Namaha. Brahmagni Devaya Namaha. Bolisya Shakina Durga Mata Ki Jai. Sri Brahmagni Devata Ki Jai. So offer your flowers in front of your Murti. Bow. Now we begin with our simple puja. So what you do, those who are performing your puja, you take the leaf from your lota and you offer on top of your good Durga Murti 3 times. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Om Gange Cha Yamuna Chaiva Godavari Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sinhidi Kudu. If you're doing Havan, pass water around the Agni Kund with the leaf 3 times. Om Ashmanyam Samarpayami Sri Brahmagni Devaya Namaha. Achmanyam Samarpayami Pritiratam Pratighitam. After you have completed that, you should have Chandan. Put Chandan on the forehead of the Durga Murti. Om Ganda Chandanam Dibyam Gandhyadhyam Samonoharam Vileparam Surusreshta Chandanam Pratighitam Chandanam Samarpyami Om Namas Chandikayai. And you can put one on the edge of the Agni Kund anywhere. Jai Agni Devata Chandanam Samarpyami. If you have a Yagyapavit, you can put it around the Durga Murti. Om Yagyapavitam Paramam Pavitram Prajapatiriyat Sahajang Purustat Ayushamagram Pratimunsha Subram Yagyapavitam Baramasateja Yagyapavitam Samarpyami Sri Achakino Devi Namaha. Om Namas Chandikayai. After you have completed that, you put flowers in front of the Durga Murti. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Om Malyakari Sugandhini Malityari Nivai Prabhu Mayartani Pujate Pushpani Pratighitam Pushpam Samarpyami Sri Achakino Devi Namaha. Om Namas Chandikayai. If you have neem leaf, put neem leaf in front of the Durga Murti. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Om Namas Chandikayai Sri Achakino Devi Namaha. When you have completed that essence on the murti, Om Gandham Samarpyami, Om Namaschandikayai, Gandham Samarpyami, Pritiratam Pratighitam. When you have completed that, you can light your agarbati to pass around the fire, around the murti. Om Banaspati Raso Bhuto Gandhya Yuganda Uttama Agryang Sarvadevanang Dhupayam Pratirghitam Dhupam Samarpyami Sri Achakino Devyai Namaha Om Namaschandikayai. Secure it some way properly where it wouldn't burn yourself or anything else. After you've completed that, you light your arati. Pass your around the Durga Murti. Om Sajang Charvati Sanyuktam Vahi Nujatamaya Deepam Grihana Devi Setra Lokyati Mirapam Deepam Samarpyami Sri Achakino Devyai Namaha Om Namaschandikayai Bolisya Shakino Devi Durga Mata Ki Jai. Bhautiri Murti Jai Devi Ma. Now devotees, we begin with our, before we perform our Havan, we perform Lakshmi Mata Dhyan. If you have a diya in front of the Durga Murti, you can light it. So in the beginning of our Havan, we go right through. You light the diya in front of the Durga Murti and take flowers in your hand and concentrate on Lakshmi Ma. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Om Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayani Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namosate Sirheshwari Mahalakshmi Mata Namaha Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Bole Sri Mahalakshmi Mata Ki Jai. Put it on both diya. Jai Lakshmi Ma. Now we begin with our Havan. And remember, as we did last night, again we do tonight. We begin with Gayatri Mantra. We do that 5 times. Then we follow with Ganesh Baba. Then we do Durga Ma, Lakshmi Ma, Saraswati Ma 9 times, 7 times, 6 times. We do Bhagwan Shankar, Satnarayana Swami, Surajnaya Swami. Then general Havan. And then after that is completed. Then we perform special Havan to Durga Ma, Om Namaschandikaya Swaha 108 times. When that is completed, we perform our stotra to the Divine Mother Durga Ma. When that is completed, a minute or two we join in simple glorification to the name of the Divine Mother, calling the name of the Divine Mother. And then we perform our final Havan and closing prayer. This will be the procedure. So we prepare ourselves as we are about to begin. And as mentioned, we begin with the Gayatri Mantra, most important. So wherever you may be, those who are performing Havan, remember, a little drop of ghee into the fire each time, not a whole spoonful to flood out the Agnikund, and 1 drop each time, and we say Swaha. Okay, so we prepare ourselves as we begin. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat Swaha Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat Swaha Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat Swaha Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat Swaha Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat Swaha. Pick up a spoonful again and 1 drop each time when I say Swaha. Om Prajapati Swaha Iram Prajapati Namama Om Indraya Swaha Iram Indraya Namama Om Agni Swaha Iram Agni Namama Om Somaya Swaha Iram Somaya Namama Om Bhu Swaha Iram Agni Namama Om Bhu Swaha Iram Vayave Namama Om Swaha Swaha Idam Suryaya Namama. After you have completed that, take up some samagri from your thali with your gugul and your sugar, rice, etc. and you offer a little bit into the fire. Om Sri Gayatri Deviyai Namaha Swaha. Now you perform Achman, pass water around. Om Sarva Papharam Dibyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamaya Datam Grihana Parameshwara Achmanyam Samarpyami. Bow to the flame, Boli Sri Gayatri Devi Mata Ki Jai. Now we move on to Gajanan Swami 11 times. Simple, powerful Bij Mantra. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Swaha. We join. Everybody. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Swaha. 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 Again, Samagri. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Swaha. Do Achman again 3 times. Om Sarva Papharam Dibyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Cha Mayadatam Grihana Parameshwara Achmanyam Samarpyami Sri Ganesh Devaya Namaha. Both the flame, Bole Sri Ganesh Baba Ki Jai. Then we move on to Durgama 9 times. We'll do 108 times, but we do 9 times for Durgama at this point in time. We join 9 times. Om Namas Chandikaya Swaha. Everybody put your voices together. Om Namas Chandikaya Swaha. 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 We offer some samagri again. Om Namas Chandikaya Swaha. Dvachman. Om Sarva Papharam Dibyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamaya Datam Grihana Parameshwara. Bow 3 flame. Bolesi Achakina Durga Mata Ki Jai. Now we perform 7 times. Saraswati Ma. Om Srim Hrim Saraswatiyai Swaha. Om Srim Hrim Saraswatiyai Swaha. 7 times we join. Om Srim Hrim Saraswatiyai Swaha. 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 You offer samagri again. Om Srim Hrim Saraswatiyai Swaha. Dvachman. Om Sarva Papharam Dibyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamaya Datam Grihana Parameshwara Achmanyam Samarpyami. Bole Sri Saraswati Mata Ki Jai. Now we move on to Saraswati Mata. Lakshmi Mata 6 times we join. Om Sri Mahalakshmi Mata Swaha. 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 Samagri. Om Sri Mahalakshmi Mata Swaha. Achman. Om Sarva Papharam Dibyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamaya Datam Grihana Parameshwara Achmanyam Samarpyami. Bow to the flame. Bole Sri Lakshmi Mata Ki Jai. Now we move on to Kali Mata 9 times. Om Krim Kaliyai Namaha Swaha. We join. Om Krim Kaliyai Namaha Swaha. 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 Samagri. Om Krim Kaliyai Namaha Swaha. Achman. Om Sarva Papharam Dibyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chahmaya Datam Grihana Parameshwara Achmanyam Samarpyami. Bole Sri Kali Mata Ki Jai. Now 3 times. Om Hrim Shashti Deviyai Swaha. For the protection of all children. Om Hrim Shashti Deviyai Swaha. Om Hrim Shashti Deviyai Swaha. Om Hrim Shashti Deviyai Swaha. 3 times. Om Sri Tulsi Mata Swaha. 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 3 times. Om Sri Chausat Yogini Deviyai Swaha. Om Sri Chausat Yogini Deviyai Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Chausat Yogini Deviyai Swaha. Om Sri Chausat Yogini Deviyai Swaha. Okay, offer samagri. Om Si, one time. Om Si Chausat Yogini Deviyai Swaha. And Watchman out 3 times again. Om Sarva Papharam Dibyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam. Achmanyam Chamayadatam Grihana Parameshwara. Achmanyam Samarpyami. Baudri flame. Bole Sri Devi Mata Ki Jai. Now we move on to Bhagwan Shankar. 11 times we do the Mrityunjay Mantra. We put our voices together, everybody. Very powerful Mrityunjay Mantra. Helps to ward off all negativities, all untimely death, all sickness, all pains, etc. Protects us generally. So we join 11 times. Mrityunjay Mantra, and at the end, Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. So everybody, we join. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Final time. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Special mantra. When I recite mantra, Om Namah Shivaya Swaha, again offer some ghee into the fire. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhana. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Final time. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Samagri. Om. 2 times we join. Offer one from Mrityunjay Mahadev and the Mrityunjay Mantra. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Varadanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshi Amamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. One time again. Om Mrityunjay Mahadev Trahi Mam Sharanagatam Janma Mrityu Jararogai Piditam Karma Bandhanai. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Achman. Om Sarva Papharam Dibyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamayadatam Grihana Parameshwara Achmanyam Samarpyami Sri Uma Maheshwaraya Namah. Everyone bow to the flame. Bole Umapati Mahadev Ki Jai. Now 7 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. We join. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. 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 Samagri. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Achman. Sarva Papharam Divyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam. Achmanyam Chamaya Datam Grihana Parameshwara. Achmanyam Samarpayami. Both flame. Bole Sri Vasudeva Bhagwan Ki Jai. Now we perform 12 times. Om Sri Surush Devata Swaha. Om Sri Surush Devata Swaha. Trisan. Om Sri Surush Devata Swaha 12 times. Om Sri Surush Devata Swaha. 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 Samagri. Om Sri Surush Devata Swaha. Achman. Om Sarva Papharam Divyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam. Achmanyam Cha Mayadatam Grihana Parameshwara. Achmanyam Samarpayami. Both the flame. Bole Sri Surush Devata Ki Jai. Now we take up a spoonful and we do general Havan to complete this aspect. Okay, recite Swaha after me. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Suryani Navgraha Devata Swaha. Om Sri Surush Devata Swaha. Sri Chandra Devata Swaha. Sri Mangal Devata Swaha. Sri Buddha Devata Swaha. Sri Brihaspati Devata Swaha. Sri Shukra Devata Swaha. Sri Shani Devata Swaha. Rahu Namaha Swaha. Sri Ketu Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Brahmagni Devaya Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Hanumantaya Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Sitaramachandraya Swaha. Sri Radha Krishnaya Swaha. Sri Vishnu Lakshmi Mataya Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Shiva Parvati Mata Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Gram Devata Swaha. Sri Sthan Devata Swaha. Sri Vastu Devata Swaha. Sri Kul Devata Swaha. Sri 33 Kro Devata Swaha. Sarva Devata Sura Devi Bhyo Namaha Swaha. Anansurupaya Parbrahm Bhyo Namaha Swaha. So I want everyone to focus upon their Guru. Pity his form in your mind, recite the Guru Mantra as you make special offerings to Guru Dev. Om Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Om Sri Guruve Namaha Swaha. Okay, Samagri now. Om Sarva Devata Sarva Devi Bhyo Namaha Swaha. Okay, do Achman 3 times again once more. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Sarva Papharam Divyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam. Achmanyam Chamaya Datam Grihana Parameshwara. Achmanyam Samarpyami. Bole Sri Pancha Devata Ki Jai. You take a flower and you define all directions, east, west, north, south. Om Banaspati Raso Bhuto Gandhyadi Uganda Uttama Agriyang Sarva Devanang Dhupayam Pratikhitam. Up and down. Dhupam Samarpyami Sri Brahmagni Devaye Namaha. When you've completed that, both hands over the flame, feel the heat, over the entire body 5 times. Those who are not performing Havan, you can bow to the flame as it is, you've seen it there. Om Sri Pancha Tattva Shanti Brahmagni Devaye Namaha. Bole Sri Pancha Devata Ki Jai. Now take flowers in your hand. Concentrate as you perform Bandhana, prayer to the different forms of worship, and then we go into a Durga Mata Havan for this evening. So focus in your mind. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Sada Bhavani Dahini He Sanamukha Sri Ganesh Pachareva Raksha Karo Se Surya Brahma Vishnu Mahesh Pacha Devataye Namaha. Everyone can take your Rasi name in your minds, your children, etc. Om Brahma Murari Tipurantakari Bhanu Suse Bhumi Suto Bhurastya Guru Shukushani Rahu Ketu Kuruvantu Sarve Mama Suprabhatam Sakal Grahashanti Sisuryari Navgraha Devata Grahashanti. Om Vaishwanaraya Vidmahe Laila Dhimahi Tanno Agni Prachoryat Brahmagni Devaye Namaha. Bole Sri Pancha Devata Ki Jai. Sri Brahmagni Devata Ki Jai. Offer the flowers and bow to the Murti. Bole Sri Durga Mata Ki Jai. Now devotees, we begin with our Havan to Divine Mother Durga specifically. And as we did last night, again we do tonight. We perform 108 times. Om Namas Chandikaya Swaha. A very, very powerful mantra given to us in Devi Bhagavad. Om Namas Chandikaya Swaha. Important that we get the pronunciation properly. Om Namas Chandikaya Swaha. So prepare yourself. Those who are performing Havan, you get your ghee, make sure everything is in order. For when we start, we want to continue right through. And those who are looking on at us, don't waste the opportunity. Samay na awat bara. Time-tied opportunity waits for no one. When you have the opportunity to perform sacrifices like these, we do it. And as I mentioned in the beginning, this is what Durga Ma does. She protects our sadhanas. She protects the sadhak. She purifies us. Remove all negativities even before we can move on. So even before you can move on to the worship of Durga Lakshmi Ma, and then the Saraswati Ma, you have to purify yourself. This is why Durga Ma is worshipped first. So that she destroys, or not destroys really, she subdues. She brings under control all the lower tendencies. That is like a distraction in our mind. All, the distraction of the mind, the impurities of the mind, she brings it under control. So without even, before you can even move forward, you have to have the blessing of Durga Ma. So this is why you perform these sadhanas. So when you see for these first 3 days you perform this action, Durga Ma purifies us, removes from within our mind all the negativities. Then we're able to move on to Lakshmi Ma. But if you're impure, how are you moving on to the other aspects? So this is why it's so important to purify ourselves. This is the beginning, the foundation we are laying, eradication of all negativities, all vices, etc. So this is how important it is. As I mentioned, a spiritual journey from one point to another. Okay? So prepare yourselves as you're about to begin. Remember 108 times, Om Namas Chandikaya Swaha. So I give you half of a minute to prepare yourself, to concentrate, focus on the Divine Mother, get her firmly printed in the mind, not to be distracted, etc. As you prepare yourself to perform our mantra jap, after which you go straight into our stotra this evening. So concentrate on the Divine Mother. That Singhavahini Durga Ma, that Jagatambi, Mother of the Universe, that one who is a protector of her children. She's a protector of this entire universe. She's the cause of all causes, as we say. When the sadhak surrenders themselves to the feet of the Divine Mother, pours our heart out to the Divine Mother, she removes from within us all negativities. As the mother always protects the child, she never sees the child suffering, but we also have to make an effort. So as you're about to begin with special worship to the Divine Mother, we say, Ma, we are making the sacrifice in your name. Whatever we do this evening, we do it for you. To seek your protective shelter. O Ma, sun lo meri pukar, listen to our call. Tumaho vigna vinashak. You're a remover of all obstacles, O Ma. We seek your protective shelter. Prepare yourselves as you're about to worship the Divine Mother. Bole Sri Ashakina Durga Mata Ki Jai. We join. Om Namas Chandikaya Swaha. 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 Om Namaschandikaya 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 Swaha. You take some neem leaves and put it around the base of the wick. Om Namaschandikaya Swaha. You can put it right around. Then I pick up some samagri, offer around the base of the wick. Do not let it out. Right around the base of the wick, only neem leaves. Om Namaschandikaya Swaha. When you have completed that, you perform Achman 3 times. Om Sarva Papharam Divyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamayadatam Grihana Parameshwara Achmanyam Samarpyami. Both the flame. Om Namaschandikaya. Now we join 9 times again, as we did last night. Special mantra from Devi Bhagwat. Om Hrim Srim Chandikayai Namaha Swaha. Om Hrim Srim Chandikayai Namaha Swaha. We do that 9 times. We join. Om Hrim Srim Chandikayai Namaha Swaha. 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 of a samagri again, right around. Om Hrim Srim Chandikaya Namaha Swaha. Perform Achman 3 times again. Om Sarva Papharam Divyam Gangam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamaya Datam Grihana Parameshwara Achmanyam Samarpyami. When you have completed that, you take a flower and fan if it was in Murti of the Durga Murti, do that 5 times. Om Banaspati Raso Bhuto Gandhyaryu Gandha Uttama Agryang Sarva Devanang Dhupayam Pratrihitam Dhupam Samarpyami. Then both hands over the flame, feel the heat over entire body 5 times again. Om Namas Chandikayai. 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 Bole Siya Shakti Nau Devi Mata Ki Jai, Durga Mata Ki Jai. Now we prepare ourselves as we perform our stotra to the Divine Mother. And again, beautiful stotra dedicated to the Divine Mother. And all these stotras have been blessed. And when one recites these mantras, special mantras, blessings come to an individual. All negativities are removed. And we basically surrender ourselves to the feet of the Divine. And this stotra, there's a beautiful line that says, Gatistvam, Gatistvam, Tvameka Bhavani. Gatistvam, Gatistvam, Tvameka Bhavani. Gatistvam, Gatistvam, Tvameka Bhavani. So when that time comes, we say that line 3 times. And you can at least join in that line. Remember the words Gatistvam, Gatistvam, Tvameka Bhavani. Gatistvam, Gatistvam, Tvameka Bhavani. Gatistvam, Gatistvam, Tvameka Bhavani. A special stotra that that is known as the Bhavani Ashtakam Stotra. That's where we surrender ourselves to the feet of the Divine Mother. So focus your attention, concentrate on the Divine Mother as we make preparations to perform this most powerful prayer, seeking the blessings of Mahamaya, Mahamata. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Om Namas Chandikaya Bhavanyashtakam Stotram. Na tato na mata na bandur na data na putro na putri na mrityu na bharta na jaya na vittirmameva. Everybody. Gatistvam gatistvam tvameka bhavani. Gatistvam gatistvam tvameka bhavani. Gatistvam gatistvam tvameka bhavani. Pavabdya pavari mahadukha viruhu papata prakami pralobhi pramantah kusansar pasha pravandah sadaham gatistvam gatistvam tvameka bhavani. Gatistvam gatistvam tvameka bhavani. Gatistvam gatistvam tvameka bhavani. न जानामि दानं न च ध्यानयोगं न जानामि मन्त्रं न च स्तोत्रमन्त्रं न जानामि पूजं न च न्यासयोगं गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं न त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी न जानामि पूजं न च न्यासयोगं न जानामि पुण्यं न जानामि तीर्थं न जानामि मुक्तिं लयं वा कदाचित् न जानामि भक्तिं व्रतं वापि मातर गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी कुकर्मी कुसंगी कुबुद्धि कुदासः कलाचारहीनः कदाचारलीनः कुदिष्टः कुवाक्यप्रबन्धः सदाहं गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी Prajesham Ramesham Mahesham Suresham Ninesham Nishitheshwaram Vakadachita Najanami Chanyat Sadaham Sharanye Gatistvam Twameka Bhavani Gatistvam Twameka Bhavani Gatistvam Twameka Bhavani Vivade Vishade Pramade Pravase जले छानले पर्वते शत्रु मध्ये अरण्ये शरण्ये सदा मां प्रपाहि गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी न ताथो दरिद्रो जरारोगयुक्तो महाक्षीण दीनः सदा जाद्य विप्रक्तः विपतो प्रविष्टः प्रनष्टः सदाहं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी इति श्रीमच्चक्रशङ्कराचार्य कृतं भवनी अष्टकं स्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम् ॐ नमश्चण्डिकायै ॐ नमश्चण्डिकायै ॐ नमश्चण्डिकायै. We concentrate as we call the 9 powerful names of the Divine Mother. Om Pratamam Shaila Putri Cha Dvitiyam Brahmacharini Tritiyam Chandragante Te Kushmande Ti Chaturutakam Panchamam Skandamate Ti Shashtam Katyayani Cha Saptamam Kalaratri Ti Mahagauri Ti Shashtamam Navamam Siddhidatri Cha Navadurga Prakrititaha Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalani Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostate Jaitvam Devi Chamundi Jai Bhutarati Harini Jai Sarvagati Devi Kalaratri Namostate Om Sarva Mangala Mangali Shive Sarvarth Sarike Sharani Trambike Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute. Let's all join Devi Suktam, everybody. Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Buddhi Rupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Siddhi Rupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshnu Vishnu Mayati Shabdita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Nidra Rupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Kshuda Rupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Kanti Rupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shanti Rupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Sarva Rupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. He Ma Namastasyai 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 Namo Namah. He Mata Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Om Namaschandikayai. Bolisya Shakino Devi Durga Mata Ki Jai. We bow to our murtis. Jai Durga Ma. Now devotees, we make preparations to perform our final Havan. And as we did last night, those of you performing your Havan, you can take your manga wood and pack it around the flame. Remember, do not put it too close if you're inside your homes, so that you smoke out your whole house, smoke out yourself, smoke out everybody else. If you want to do that, that is okay. But you know, those who have sinus, etc., you have to be very careful. But you can pack it in such a way where you have a little space in the middle. that you're going to offer your prasad all around. And then when you have completed that, whatever extra neem leaves you have, pack it around the wood. And also not blocking up the space where the fire is. In this instance, I am outside, so I can afford to put the wood on top of the flame, but it's your choice if you want to do that. But what is important is if you leave the flame in the middle open, that when you put it on the outside of your homes, that you ensure that it burns out properly, drop a camphor in the middle, and that will blaze up for itself and light out and burn out all the prasad. Make sure that it burns out clean. So next day, the ashes, you take it and offer it under your tree, under your jhandi, wherever it may be. And then you prepare Agni Kund again, clean it up for the evening again. Those are performing your Havan. So when you've completed that, whatever samagri, etc. you have, you mix it up and you prepare to perform final Havan. And then we do our closing prayer. Okay, so little bit each time on top of the neem leaves. Om Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Sri Vigneshwaraya Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Gauri Mata Swaha. Om Sri Prithvi Mata Swaha. Om Namaschandikaya Swaha. Om Krim Kaliyai Swaha. Om Sri Gayatri Devi Swaha. Om Sri Brahmani Devi Swaha. Om Sri Rudrani Devi Swaha. Om Sri Kalyani Devi Swaha. Om Sri Uma Maheshwaraya Namaha Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaya Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Brahmagni Devaya Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Hanumantaya Swaha. Sri Sitarama Chandraya Swaha. Om Sri Radha Krishnaya Swaha. Om Sri Gram Devata Swaha. Om Sri Sthan Devata Swaha. Om Sri Vastu Devata Swaha. Om Sri Kul Devata Swaha. Sri Taintiskaro Devata Swaha. 3 times again. Sarva Devata Sarva Devi Bhyo Namaha Swaha. Anand Swarupaya Par Brahm Bhyo Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Guruve Namaha Swaha. You can bend the thali, offer the rest on top. When you have completed that, wash out your hands. Then you perform Achman, pass water around the fire 3 times. Om Sarva Pabharam Dibyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamayadatam Grihana Parameshwara Achmanyam Samarpyami. When you have completed that, take another flower, find all directions. Om Banaspati Raso Bhuto Gandhya Gandha Uttama Agriyang Sarva Devanang Dhupayam Pratikhetam Dhupam Samarpyami. Then bow to the flame, Boli Si Brahmagni Devata Ki Jai. So before we recite our final prayer, what we do, as we did last night, again we do tonight. We join our voices together, simple kirtan. We, use the name of that Lord, Divine Mother, to glorify her. So Durga Lakshmi Saraswati, Kali Jaganmata. We put our voices together, everybody. He Durga Lakshmi Saraswati, Kali Jaganmata. Durga Lakshmi Saraswati, Kali Jaganmata. Kali Jagamata, Kali Jagamata, Kali Jagamata, Kali Jagamata, Durga Lakshmi Saraswati, 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 Kali Jagamata, He Durga Lakshmi Saraswati, Kali Jagamata, Kali Jagamata, Kali Jagamata, Kali Jagamata, Kali Jagamata. Everybody, Durga Lakshmi Saraswati, Kali Jagamata, Durga Lakshmi Saraswati, Kali Jagamata, Durga Lakshmi Saraswati, Kali Jagamata. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma. Bole Sya Shakti Nau Durga Devi Mata Ki Jai. So, take up your arati. You can pass it around the murti 5 times. Om Sajang Charvati Sanyuktam Vahi Nyojitamaya Deepam Grihana Devi Setrailokyati Mirapam Deepam Samarpayami Syashakino Devyai Namaha. Ambe Tu Hai Jagadambe Kali Jai Durge Kaparavali Teri Gunagavi Bharati. Om Maya Hum Sam Utaro Teri Arati Si Achakino Devyai Namaha. Bole Si Devi Durga Mata Ki Jai. Now take flowers in your hand as you're about to recite our final prayer. And this is where you have the opportunity now to seek the blessing of Divine Mother. Today we have all assembled once more, virtually that is, in our various homes, wherever we may be, to seek the blessing of the Divine Mother. For this is the purpose of this most auspicious period of the Navratri. These 9 nights have been given to us where we make sacrifices, sadhanas. And only sadhanas is what can help us to purify ourselves, nothing else. All scriptures indicate that. The only way of purification of the self, Bhut Shuddhi, purification of the elements within, to purify ourselves, to rid ourselves of all negativities, only sadhanas, spiritual disciplines, performance of Havan, performance of Stotra, Mantra Jap, etc. So this is what we have done this evening. All to seek the blessing of that Divine Mother, to protect all of us, every one of us, from whatever negativities may exist. And we have to go through that again. We always keep saying that. The negativity that exists at this point in time. Tinata por janma marana bai dura karete chaname janaranjan. That Divine Mother removes the 3 types of sin: Dehik, Devik, Bhautik tap, bodily discomfort, environmental, and natural disasters that we see. Even within the human body, all the pains, etc. that exist within us, it is easily removed by that Divine Mother. All sicknesses. So, in your own way, pour your hearts out to that Divine Mother as you offer final prayer. And whatever may be in your mind, you pour your hearts out to that Divine Mother. That, oh Ma, today, as children, we sit in front of you. For you are that earthly mother. We have that earthly mother, but you are that Divine Mother. There are times when the earthly mother is incapable of helping us. But, oh Ma, we know that you will always provide that protection. You always protect your children. You will always provide that support for us, oh Ma. We seek your protective shelter. So from your own hearts, devotees, pray for yourself, your near and dear ones. Pray for your children, your grandchildren, whoever it may be. Pray for those who may be sick in any way, those who may be unfortunate in any way. Pray for our village, our home, our community, the country, the world at large. Pray that the Divine Mother show her grace upon all. Protect all of us as we go through the course of life. And also protect our ancestors, wherever they may be. That they have given us everything that we have. And we ask the Mother that wherever they may be, O Ma, also show your grace and blessing upon them. Protect them from whatever difficulties. So in your own way, offer your prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Anadhini Dhano Devaha Sankat Chakra Gadadhara Kshay Pundarikaksha Preta Moksha Prado Bhava. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Om Shiva Hare Shiva Rama Sake Prabhu Trividhatap Nivarana He Vibhu Ajajaneshwar Yadav Pahi Mam Shiva Hare Vijayam Kuru Me Varam Pratidinam Kushalam Jai Mangalam Om Mangalam Bhagwan Vishnu Mangalam Garudwaja Mangalam Pundarikaksha Mangalai Stanu Hari Om Avahanam Najanami Najanam Visarjanam Pujang Jaivanajami Chamitam Parameshwaram Om Gachakasru Sri Shaswastani Parameshwaram Yata Brahma Deyo Devastata Gachutasanam Labhastesham Jayastesham Kutastesham Parajaya Yesham Indivarasham Hridayastu Janaradanam Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janaradanam He Devi Ma Yat Pujatamaya Deva Paripurnam Tarastame Papaham Papa Karamaham Papa Atma Papa Sambhavat Rahimam Pundarikaksha Sarva Pap Haru Hari Sarva Rog Haru Hari Sarva Dukh Haru Hari He Devi Durga Mata Daya Karo Kripa Karo Raksha Karo Kshama Karo He Ma Sunalo Meri Pukar Tum Ho Vigna Vinashak Sunalo Meri Pukar Tum Ho Vigna Vinashak सुन लो मेरी पुकार, तुम हो विघ्न विनाशक। ओम असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय. We join universal prayer, everybody. Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Dhyau Shantihi Antarikshagum Shantir Prithvi Shantir Apah Shantir Ushadya Shantihi Vanaspatya Shanti Vishvira Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagum Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Sama Shanti Ridhi Shubha Shanti. Loudly, powerfully. Bole Sri Ashakinau Devi Durga Mata ki jai. Sri Gajanan Swami ki jai. श्री उमापति महादेव की जय. पवनपुत्र हनुमान की जय. सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय. श्री स्वाहा माता की जय. Offer flowers in front of Durga Murti Ambao. Jai Ma, Jai Ambe, Jai Durga Mata. So devotees, this brings us to the end of this evening's Havan once more. The end of our second night devotion. Tomorrow again we continue. Again we start at 7 and finish around 8. 1 hour of devotion to the Divine Mother. And remember, on Wednesday, the 13th, is Durga Ashtami. So those of you who are performing your Havan, etc., even though you're not performing Havan, I want to do your Havan that night, and you're not going to a temple, then you can make your preparations. Remember, 9 pairs of lapsi and tuhari. You can take it with the sindur, put your neem leaf, put kanfa, put your flowers, tulsi, decorate it nicely. And we'll do that puja on next Wednesday, the 13th, which is the Durga Ashtami day. And you can also get a coconut to burn that day. So even though you're not performing your Havan every night with us, but you like to perform your Havan on that Wednesday, nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. That is the auspicious day. All the days are auspicious, but the Durga Ashtami is a very auspicious day. But we should try our best. Even though you're not performing Havan, but at least join with us every night. Take part in devotion. Mansik, Vachik. Mind, verbal. Vachik and Mansik. Involve yourself in the puja. And on Wednesday, you can perform your Havan together with us when we perform our Durga Ashtami celebration. On Wednesday coming, we will be performing our Havan here and also be having our Kanya Puja, etc. So all that will be, they are available for you all to look at. But most important is for you to join in the Havan on Wednesday. So this blessings to each and every one of you. Blessings to those who are viewing us. And we pray that the Divine Mother Durga Mata continue to shower her blessings and grace upon you. Remove all negativities from your lives as you continue with your life journey. So until we meet tomorrow at 7 p.m., where we start our Havan, may the Divine Mother show her blessings upon you. Bole si Ashakina Durga Mata ki Jai. Jai Ma.